This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, my name is Aditya Chella, and since 14 years, I'm working as a SAP consultant in the area of FICO as well as FSCM, Treasury Management, and also S4HANA since 1503 onwards. So now I'm going to deal with 1809 project, so with Greenfield implementation, and 1709 project with migration. So this is my work experience and come to my teaching experience. Since 10 years, I'm working as a faculty in the area of all these areas such as FI, CO, as well as the treasury management, FSCM, and also S4HANA. And come to my education qualification, I am a CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst from US Chartered, and I done my financial engineering and risk management specialization from National Institute of Security Markets, and I done my master's in finance. So this is my education qualification. So, in today's session, I'm going to explain you about S4 HANA and also how we need to follow this training and what are the things to be taken into consideration at the time of training and after the training, and what are the topics covered in this training and what we are going to deliver to you. And finally, we are going to discuss about how to approach for the certification. So, when we are going to discuss about S4 HANA applications, here this training will be helpful to the all R3 FSCO consultant to update their knowledge into S4 HANA Finance. So why I am saying this means, say for example, if you take FI topics in existing R3, we have GL, AR, AP, and asset accounting. So when you come across with FI topics of S4 HANA, it's quite different because GL, AR, AP, asset accounting is the common factors. Along with that, we require the credit management, collections management, and disputes management knowledge from FSCM. And also we require the cloud language, that means Fury and Lumira. So as well as we need to understand about bank account management and cash management. That means your responsibility is more in S4 HANA as a finance consultant. Like that, when you come across with the CO side also, all the functionalities are still look like same. That means the concept wise it is same, but functionality wise it is different. And also there is some extension functionalities in CO side. So your responsibility is reduced in CO side because the main problem which we had faced in existing R3 is management accounting. Now the management accounting is mostly simplified. So because of that, every FICO consultant, it is recommended to move forward with S4 HANA finance applications. So then the student who has a knowledge with FICO and financial background, that means, sir, I am a fresher, I can learn S4 HANA finance or not. You can learn, but you need to approach to the greenfield implementation. So it is not recommended to learn brownfield implementation directly. Then project managers and team leads and supporting consultant. For all category of the people, this training will be helpful to you. So what we are going to discuss in this demonstration session, I'm going to discuss about the importance of S4HANA and versions of S4HANA and adoption scenarios. Sir, why you mention only these 3 points? Because the whole concept is there in these 3 points. So, and then we are going to discuss about the highlights of the training and learning methodology. So topics which I'm going to cover in this training. So when you are coming to the first point, importance of S4 HANA. Sir, why we are moving into S4 HANA? Why the SAP recommended to move from R3 to S4 HANA? This is the question. So there are two scenarios out there to understand this. One is from the technical perspective, we need to understand. From the functional point also, we need to understand. From the technical point of view, if you see, in existing R3, the data is first get updated in hard disk. From the hard disk, it moves to the memory. From the memory, the data is get stored in CPU register. So if the hard disk capacity is limited, then we are going to face a lot of performance issues. So that means if every information is get stored in the hard disk physically in the system, then we are going to face a lot of performance issues. So the system becomes slow and also you cannot run the reports. Some data is mismatched. So like this, we are going to face a lot of problems. To overcome this problem from the technical side, now the S4 HANA introduced a concept called in-memory technology, meaning that first the data goes to the CPU register and then it will convert this data from characteristic format to numeric format by using a dictionary encoding technique, and it processes the data to the memory, and from the memory the data is get stored in the cloud, which is provided by the SAP. So hard disk is there, but it is only for installation procedures. So all the information, whatever we are going to store, that is get stored in the cloud solutions, which is provided by the SAP. So that is the reason we call it as in-memory technology. Whenever the hard disk is free, the system performance will automatically get increased. So this is the concept which is explained in in-memory technology, but it's not the easy thing in one or two words. So we need to understand very carefully what is this in-memory technology and how it will work. Because of this, my first three sessions, which I'm going to explain, is related to the basics of S4 HANA. Because why we are coming to the S4 HANA, what is the advanced features, why, how the performance issue has been resolved. So without understanding this, it is not recommended to move to the functional concepts. So that is the reason our training is going to start with what is ERP on HANA and what is S4 HANA. So here I'm going to show you why we are using ECC6 EHP7, what is the basic prerequisite, why it is mandatory, what is supporting packs, from where we can find the supporting packs. So, and also how to update the supporting packs with upgraded version, and what is business active functions, why we require this, and how to construct the S4 HANA system on HANA system with finance applications. So these are all the things which we are going to discuss. So then we are going to discuss about the difference between the transparent box and black box. So if anybody asks you, so is S4 HANA is costliest or R3 is costliest, you need to answer in a technical form. Because of that, we are going to discuss about the difference between transparent box and black box of existing R3. So then we are going to discuss about different types of license agreements and what are the functionalities and operating system and what is the difference between greenfield and brownfield. This is our first session. So once this is done, whenever we are talking about S4 HANA, everyone will say the system performance is so fast compared with existing R3. I am also saying the same thing. But how it is possible? So we need to show the difference between relational database management system and in-memory database management system. And what are the factors affecting the speed and performance of the system? So this we need to understand very carefully. Then only we can strongly believe that what is in-memory technology and how it will work. It's not a single word or one or two words. There is some principles are there. That principles we need to understand. And then what are the main factors affecting the speed and performance of the system? So there are three important functionalities are there which we need to understand very carefully. How the data is get stored, that means where the data is get stored, in which form the data is get stored, why we are using column based tables, and why the universal general is designed in column base, and how the duplication of the data is removed. So these are the three basic pillars for S4 HANA. Because of this, my first three sessions which I am going to discuss with basics of S4 HANA. That means, as I already told you, from the technical point of view, you can simply say that it's a in-memory technology. But to understand what is this in-memory technology, we need to go to the first three sessions. So then, in quick review, the SAP HANA is a SAP own database and developed for more accuracy and faster in terms of performance, more time better than any other database exists due to because of the in-memory concept. Now the SAP HANA rapidly developed for many upcoming technologies like foremost incorporate technologies like UEFI technology, Fury, that means the cloud solutions, and so on. Very advanced technology. And many new features was implemented in recent development of SAP HANA release. So that means version to version, they are updating a new features. So all the NetWeaver applications for 7.4 supporting SAP HANA as a backend database for ERP from ECC6 EHP7 supporting on HANA. So when you are coming to the functional side, this is in the form of technical side. Okay. From the functional side, you need to understand very carefully because the main purpose of this training is related to the functional side. So whatever the problems we had faced in existing R3, so that means mostly we face month-end closing activities and year-end closing activities. So when we are coming to the S4 HANA, there is no issue of month-end, there is no issue of year-end, meaning that so in existing R3, as a finance consultant, if you want to prepare a month-end report or year-end report, we need to extract the information from different tables, and that means that's the responsibility of BW consultant. And then we need to consolidate it, and then we need to allocate it, and also we need to distribute it, and then we need to do the actual postings. So the real-time integration between CO and FI always necessary. In fact, we struggle a lot in this point. But now, because of the introduction of one table concept, which is called universal general concept, now we don't have distribution of data, allocation of data, actual postings, and also we don't require the reconciliation between one element to another element. All these are things are automated, and most of the things are simplified and removed. So at the end of the day, when you come across with the month end or year end, so just you need to prepare the report. No need to collect the information or no need to extract the information from anywhere. So there is no time delay in the process of reporting. So this is from the functional side. But in this case also, it's not the single word, one or two words. So we need to understand thoroughly what is the advantage of the functional features. So that is the main purpose of this training. So why we are moving into S4 HANA means technically there is a reason is there, and functionally also there is a reason is there. This is not only from the finance side I am saying, from the logistics side also these rules are applicable. Then come to the second point, versions in S4 HANA. Why I mentioned this point means some people are saying we need to learn in cloud edition. Some people will say we need to learn in on-premises edition. What it is true, whether we need to learn in cloud edition or whether we need to learn in on-premises edition. The answer is whenever we are going to talk about S4 HANA with Enterprise Edition, that means a complete licensed version, we need to use both the versions. Why? Because is all the customizations, implementations is done through on-premises edition. On-premises means just like a existing ERP environment, which works on ECC6, EHP7 on HANA database. So when you come across with the cloud edition, so this is purely works on URL, that means on cloud edition, and also it is especially used for end user activities to make the things easier. That means, say for example, if you want to post an end user transaction in existing R3, we require the sandbox, and also we need to remember the transaction code, and we need to remember a path as an end user. But when you come across with S4 HANA, because of the introduction of these Fury applications, we don't require all these things. Directly you can navigate to the URL if you have a authorization. So once you log in with your user ID and password, and these URL works on any type of device, there is no restriction of installation. We don't require any installations. So directly you can access to your user ID and password, and then you can see the catalogs which is designed by the S4 HANA consultant. Once you click on that catalog, you can see automatically every functionality is distributed. That means every transaction is distributed in the form of titles in dashboard. So no need to remember the transaction code or no need to remember the path. So that means what I am saying is do, in order to understand the customizations or implementations, it is recommended to go through the on-premises edition. Then only it is possible. When we are coming to the end user activity, neither you can use on-premises edition, and it is highly recommended to use the cloud edition. So because of this, the combination of on-premises and cloud edition is always necessary in S4 HANA. You cannot learn all the things in on-premises edition. Like that, you cannot learn all the things in cloud edition. So because of this, the on-premises edition means the SAP HANA on-premises is more suitable for the companies whose processes are already well established and need for full set of functionalities along with the high level of customization and modification to meet the business needs. So if you want to do any customizations, it is only possible through on-premises edition. In the cloud edition, which is called Fury, we can use the functionality as a end user activities, just like a dashboards. So the cloud edition might be more suitable for the companies that can be easily adapt and standard business process looking for faster maintenance cycle and ability to scale as grow. So always both the editions are mandatory. So when you're coming to the adoption scenarios, third point, how we can learn the S4 HANA? Most of the people have this question. Sir, I'm going to take the training on greenfield or I am taking the training on brownfield. Meaning that, let's say your company is a fresh company. That means they don't have any SAP solutions previously. In this case, if the company start implementing the S4 HANA from the scratch, from the business blueprint onwards, then we call it as greenfield implementation. So in the other side, already the company is working with existing R3 since 10 years or 20 years. Now they are moving into the S4 HANA. This process is known as migration, or we can call it as brownfield implementation. So both the scenarios are very important. Both the scenarios plays a key role. Why? Because is so we are working with S4 HANA for the first time. So directly, if you learn the brownfield implementation, that means migration, it is very difficult to understand a lot of things, and it is very difficult to handle the issues which we are facing. So because of this, the greenfield implementation is more recommended while we are going to take the training, because you can understand the logic of customization. That means what changes it is occurred in customization for each and every topic in a clear picture. And then you can understand what changes it is occurred in end user and what changes it is occurred from the technical side. So these three are very important. One is implementation. While we are coming to the implementation, compare with, let's say, GL. In existing R3, we have a classical GL, then it is replaced with new GL, now it is replaced with universal general. Why it is replaced? What is the new features? So we need to come across with our own company code from starting onwards. So that is the reason, step by step, we need to understand. And number two, in the end user activities. So some new features has been added in end user activities. What is the advantage of these new features and how we can post the transaction? Then after posting the transaction, what is the effect of the technical check? So in which tables it is get affected? Whenever we understand these 3 points for each and every topic, then we can understand the logic of S4 HANA. That is the reason greenfield is more recommended more before we are going to start with brownfield implementation. It is not recommended to learn migration directly. So in the greenfield approach, customers implement SAP Simple Finance as a fresh start of their financial world. Greenfield usually start off with a business blueprint in which the implementing company takes the opportunity to review its existing process and to get more insight into the new architecture and process by prototyping business use case. As I already told you, it gives the complete information about this. Based on the result of initial analysis, customer build the process that are similar, globally aligned, and make better use of resource. Furthermore, the greenfield approach gives the customer the advantage of sitting company code white template and delivering the standard business process map during the rollout of their companies. So the central finance deployment option is always based on greenfield approach because you build the centralized finance as a backbone next to current ERP landscape. So that is the reason we are going to discuss about the greenfield implementation. Even in my training also, I'm going to concentrate, mainly focus, I'm going to concentrate on greenfield. So because once you understand the logic, you can understand everything. Then there is some advantages and disadvantages is also there in greenfield implementation. The advantages is disposable and grow of outdated landscape, quick of new and efficient process landscape, construction of company code white template for harmonization and standardization of business process. So there is an excellent opportunity to implement the full range of innovations with simple finance. That is the choice which we are going to take in greenfield implementation. So that is the reason it is highly recommended. Then disadvantage is also there. Depending on the size of the company, standardization and re-engineering of the process may be very time consuming, in which the users can benefit from the advantage of simple finance only in the midterm. Yes, because whenever we are going to implement anything new, we can really understand and also we can enjoy once it is get updated. So because of this, So in the greenfield implementation, it's a time delay process. So even in training also, when I was going to explain the concept also, on 1 or 2 days, you cannot understand everything. So slowly, by going one by one, we can understand the concept. So when you are coming to the brownfield implementation, so as I already told you, this you can call it as migration. So this is a short form. That means company has already have a existing landscape of FI and CO. Now they are planning to move from existing R3 to S4 HANA. But remember, without knowing the greenfield implementation, it is not recommended to go to the brownfield implementation. So the brownfield approach pre-purpose an existing financial system landscape and it's migrated to the simple finance. Such migration can be carried out in relative short term depending on the size of the company. Customers who have already migrated their ERP system to Business Suite on HANA often switch to SAP Simple Finance in the second step in order to benefit from the substantial enhancement of financial applications. Switching its existing financial accounting to S4 HANA is 2.5 months. That means this is an example I told you. But based on the data volume of the existing R3, the time consuming is there. Customers who at present have not yet been switched to Business Suite on HANA must upgrade their existing ERP to EHP7 and migrate the SAP HANA database. As I already told you, the ECC6 EHP7 is the basic prerequisite in order to move from existing R3 to S4 HANA or else in greenfield. That means finally what I am saying is if you want to run the S4 HANA finance applications or logistics applications, the basic ERP application is ECC6 EHP7. There is a big reason is there because why we require only ECC6 EHP7. What is the functionality, which we are going to discuss in our first session. So this means that all other remaining ERP applications also benefit from the existing improvement of SAP HANA. Many companies who choose this approach in turn to get result quickly without having the re-engineering this process. So that means FI and CO data is coming from existing R3, but we are going to do some delta changes and we are doing the migration. Because of that, it takes lot of less time in order to migrate from existing R3 to S4 HANA. Here also, there is advantages and disadvantages is there. The advantages is it's a short-term runtime project because the migration of Simple Finance is an add-on to straightforward process. Users perceive the built-in benefit of SAP Simple Finance as an add-on and straight after migration. No need to change existing FI and CO interface. The disadvantage is also there. So the migration does not eliminate the natural complexity and obsolete process. Customers may have to kick off their additional project and involves in the business. That means, say your company is using ECC6. So you cannot migrate the ECC6 directly to S4 HANA. First, what you need to do is we need to move from ECC6 to EHP7 first, and then we need to move to the S4 HANA. Because S4 HANA always support with Unicode system. That I will explain in my first session. What is this Unicode? Why we require ECC6 EHP7 as mandatory? So that means there is two-step migration process are there. One is ECC6 to EHP7 and EHP7 to S4 HANA. In case of early release, an upgradation to EHP7 in the project that may prove the time consuming because EHP7 is the basic prerequisite. This may delay in finance project. So because of this, there is two methodology of adoption scenarios. Even in training also, you need to follow the same standards. Then what we are going to guide you here for each and every concept, whatever I'm going to explain. So there is a practice material with step by step. Then supporting whatever the practice you are doing, whenever you have faced any issues, directly you can forward to us. So we'll provide the solution to you so that you can go to the smooth and regular practice. So then certification preparation. Certification is highly recommended in S4 HANA. Why? Because is the SAP want to standardize and they want to maintain an identity to S4 HANA consultants. So that is the reason after clearing this training, it is highly recommended to clear the certification. Whatever the certification documents you require that we are going to provide and we are going to guide you how to follow the certification. And if you want to register for certification, once if you intimate to us, so I will give my existing student reference and contacts. based on your country location, so that you can take the help of my existing students, and also you can register for certification and you can clear the certification. The procedure of certification and what are the different stages of certifications, I will explain later. Then live sessions with recordings. That means whatever the sessions I'm going to explain, each and every session is being recorded and that recording will be forwarded to you. And reference materials. This will be helpful to you for your future reference, because we have total 40 to 50 reference books are there with the latest editions, so that you can refer at any point of time. So along with this, we added one more advantage to the students to improve the quality of the S4 HANA management accounting. We are going, so you are going to follow with S4 HANA concept. But at the same time, we are recommending to join with R3 controlling session at free of cost. So which we are going to provide. Why? Because is, so to understand the in detail of the management accounting with the standard management accounting in R3, so we are going to update this training. So that means you need to if you want to attend, you can attend. That is your choice. It's not mandatory. So you can continue with S4 HANA training, and at the same time you can continue with R3 controlling training, so at free of cost. So this is a new add-on functionality, and whatever the materials I'm going to provide, whatever the recordings I'm going to provide, so there is no restriction at any point of time. This you can utilize in your lifetime. So let me see what are practice materials. Wait a second. See, the first mail which I'm going to send after your registration is the practice materials. Practice materials in the sense, say for example, if you take bank account management. So if you want to follow the bank account management, you can see my practice material. Step by step, I have designed the practice material for each and every topic with detailed view along with the screenshots, so that you can simply follow this practice material for every topic wise. So these are called practice materials. And come to reference materials. Reference materials is the documents which is given by the SAP as standard documentations, so which you can follow. Say for example, if you take migration. So whatever the latest innovations is there, so these are the reference materials. 40 to 50 reference books are there which you can utilize. So along with this, the PPTs. For every topic, I'm going to explain the presentation first. Say for example, if you take accounts receivables, first I'm going to explain about accounts receivables. What are the changes occurred? What are the fundamental principles of the change of the concept? What changes it is affected, where it is affecting? So like this, I have designed some presentations for every topic wise. So meaning that the topic wise presentations, practice materials, and reference materials which you are going to receive in my first mail after your registration. Then you are going to receive the certification materials. Till now, the certification materials are released up to 1709. All the certification materials, whatever you required, so these certification materials will be delivered to you. We have 4 levels. One is financial accounting associated level, then financial accounting professional level, management accounting associated level, management accounting professional level. For all these 4 certifications, you can pay one-time fee and you can attend with 6 attempts within 1 year. So how to follow these certification materials also we had mentioned very clearly. So this is the second mail which you are going to receive from my end. And the third mail which you are going to receive is the server access. So here I'm going to follow with latest server access. You can see here service. Wait a second. How to check this, I will tell you in my first session. I will tell you. SAP is going to update this upgradations on daily basis. You can see 12/4 4/12/2018. So according to this, if you see 1809, 1809 with supporting pack 1. This is the latest edition. So if you come across with our system, this is a complete integrated solution, on-premises edition, NetViewer, Fury, Lumira. So whatever the functionalities we required, this is a complete integrated solution. So I'm following with 1809 with supporting pack 1. So here you can see under system, status, details, install product versions, 1809 with supporting pack 1, which is the latest edition. So that is the reason I shown you where we can find this latest edition also. So if you see here, so S4 HANA 1809 with supporting pack 1. So which is nothing but initial shipment pack with 1809. This is the latest edition which we are going to follow. The same access will be provided to you and it is valid for total 90 days from date of registration. So if you want any extension, you can contact to our admin, they will guide you. So this is the third mail which you are going to receive, the server access. And the fourth mail which you are going to receive is the batch wise schedule. So for each and every batch, what I will do is I will send the schedule to you before I'm going to start the session. Say for example, one second. Okay, I will show here. See, for each and every batch, we are going to send the schedule. According to this schedule is concerned, say for example, you are going to start with, this is an existing schedule. Topic wise, date wise schedule will be forwarded to you. This is the fourth mail which you are going to receive. So number one, we are going to send all practice materials, reference materials, and also the PPTs in my first mail. And the second mail which you are going to receive is all certification materials. And the third mail which you are going to receive is server access with validity of 1809 with latest edition, which I am using. And the fourth mail which you are going to receive is schedule. So once the sessions are started on daily wise, you are going to receive the session. So this is the things which we are going to provide to you. So there is no validity for materials and recordings which we are going to provide, but from the server point of view, from the date of registration, it is valid for 90 days. So then, learning methodology. How we need to learn the S4 HANA. So here, as I already told you, learning in the greenfield implementation is not the correct approach. Sorry, brownfield implementation is not the correct approach. So we need to start our training with greenfield implementation, meaning that by taking each and every topic, say if you take asset accounting, first of all, we need to understand what are the changes occurred in asset accounting like this. So if you come across with asset accounting, so first of all, we need to understand carefully what changes it is occurred in asset accounting and what are the functionalities and features. Why the changes is made. In clear picture, we need to understand. So then once these changes is understood, then we need to do the each and every step of customization in S4 HANA. So when I was going to explain the concept here, what I will do is, say if you are taking about asset accounting as an example. So I'm going to take both the systems. So here side by side, I'm going to take S4 HANA system and ECC system. Both systems I'm going to take and I'm going to show you the step-by-step difference. Say for example, if I'm going to explain about asset accounting. So normally we are going to do the customization. So when you are going to do the customization in both the systems, say come to financial accounting, asset accounting. So step by step we are coming. So side by side we are taking the systems and we are coming to the step by step. So especially when we are doing this customization step by step, we can identify the changes. Say for example, if you take chart of depreciation. So like this, here also we are going to take asset accounting. So when you come across with existing R3, we don't have accounting principles associated with the chart of depreciation. So, but when you come across with S4 HANA, we have the accounting principle associated with the target ledger group. What is the difference between these two things? So, like this, whenever you are going to do the step-by-step customization with our own company code for each and every topic, we can understand the changes. So, these changes first I am going to explain, and then I am coming to the step-by-step configuration. After doing the configuration, so then I'm going to do the postings, and after postings, I'm going to show you where the changes happen in technical side. At the end of the day, we can see the result. This is the correct approach to learn the S4 HANA finance applications. The learning path. So it is divided into the main categories of 5 categories. One is basics of S4 HANA to understand what are the features and functionalities. And number two, greenfield implementation to understand about the functional changes and also the functionalities. And brownfield implementation to understand about the migration and project scope. That means ASAP methodology is replaced as active methodology. That also we need to understand. And at the end of the training, we are going to explain about how to approach for the certification and how you can plan for the certification. So this is the procedure of our training. And when you come across with the concept wise, so these concepts are divided into main 4 categories. One is basics of S4 HANA, greenfield implementation, brownfield implementation, and project scope. It is divided into the 4 main categories. And each and every category has subdivision. Say there are total 11 levels of training is there. Number one, basics of S4 HANA, which is used to understand about the basic features and functionalities of S4 HANA. Then finance applications. So by taking each and every functionality, we are going to create a project and we are going to structurize our own implementation, end user, reporting, and also we are going to see the technical check and certification question. So here you can see at very clearly mentioned. All topics are explained based on the comparison of R3 to S4 HANA. That too, if you take each and every topic, business impact, first we are discussing in presentation form, and then we are going to see the step-by-step configuration, then end user, technical check, reporting, and certification preparation. Like this, we are going to discuss each and every functionality. So the second level is finance applications. Then the third level, which deals with financial supply chain management, and it is highly recommended to understand about FSEM features because in existing R3 it's not mandatory, but when you come across with S4 HANA, financial supply chain management is mandatory to understand because AR credit management is completely replaced with FSEM credit management. Because of that, we need to understand about FSEM credit management, collections management, and disputes management with end-to-end. Then we are going to discuss about cloud functionalities. How to construct, we are not the end users, we are the consultants. So we need to understand how to construct the Fury applications as per the user needs, and also how to design the transaction applications, analytical applications, fact sheet applications, and how to design the reports based on graphical user interface we need to understand. Because of that, the cloud knowledge is necessary. Then bank account management. House bank is completely replaced as bank account management in S4 HANA because they integrated the house bank, in-house cash from FSCM, and bank communication management from FSCM, and they replaced it with a new tool which is called bank account management. And again, as per the organizational needs, it is divided into two categories. One is bank account management light version, and then the full version, which is called cash management powered by HANA. Up to this point, it's a part of finance applications. That means number one, finance applications, which deals with GL, AR, AP, and asset accounting. And number two, FSCM, credit collections and disputes. Number three, cloud functionalities, which deals with Fury, Lumira, and Rumbia. And number four, bank account management. And number five, cash management. So these are all the part of finance activities in S4 HANA. Then when you come across with the management accounting, as I already told you, management accounting plays a key role in S4 HANA because lot of things are simplified in management accounting. But if you want to understand, we need to go thoroughly with each and every concept in detail, not in the short-term training. So we need to concentrate from the basics onwards, such as cost element accounting, cost center accounting, order management, new profit center accounting, and integrations with MM and SD. So then how it is simplified in the product costing as well as COPA, both in standard cost estimate as well as actual costing. Everything we need to understand very carefully. Then only we can really understand what are the changes occur. So extended to the management accounting, the planning structure is completely replaced with BPC for S4 HANA, which is called embedded BPC. Previously also we have BPC, but that is different and this is different. This is called embedded BPC. So which is internally used in S4 HANA for planning and consolidation. Then these two are the part of management accounting. Once it is get clear, then we are coming to the migration. So once you understand all the features and functionalities of S4 HANA Finance, then we are going to start with migration. So in the migration, the first step is central finance. Then what is a central finance? I will tell you in a short form. In existing R3, we have CO and FI data is get stored in different data architecture. There is no unified structure. But when you come across with S4 HANA, the management accounting and financial accounting is get stored in one table, which is called unified structure. So whatever the data we are taking from existing R3, first we need to integrate management accounting to financial accounting, and then we need to recommend it for migration functionalities. To integrate this management accounting to the financial accounting, the concept is known as central finance. So that we need to understand first. After that, we are going to discuss about migration. In the migration, we need to understand about the technical features of migration functionalities such as system landscape replication tool, how it will work, what are the system conversions and landscape, what is post-migration activities and post-migration testing, and especially post-migration activities means the delta changes of S4 HANA. Already you learned the greenfield implementation. You can simply understand this concept. Like that post-migration testing, while you are running the migration steps, we will face some issues. Already we know the logic in greenfield, so we can simply resolve the issues. And planning after migration activities. So these are the main features. And finally, we are going to discuss about closing cockpit. So in existing R3 also we have a closing cockpit. Now also we have a closing cockpit. There is a lot of differences there. Here we need to understand how to activate the standard templates for closing process and how to map it and how to plan it, how to execute and how to analyze it. We are going to understand. So once these 11 levels is get clear, on the last day, we are going to discuss about the project scope. As I already told you, the ASAP methodology is replaced as active methodology. So to cover the complete training, I require total 6 weeks. Monday to Friday is the session as per Indian Standard Time. Monday to Friday is the session. Every day we required at least 1 hour session and total 6 weeks, meaning that total round of to 30 days I am going to take this training. So this is the procedure of our training and this is the process. So I hope you understand what we are going to deliver and what is the functionalities. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.